It all began with a mysterious signal that was unexpectedly detected at the very edge of the world, in the heart of Antarctica. This signal astonished scientists with its extraordinary intensity and clarity, as if it were coming from the very depths of the icy desert. Amidst the millennia-old layers of ice and snow that conceal the secrets of the past, this signal seemed like a call from another world. Modern satellites and instruments instantly registered it. However, the origin of the signal remained a mystery that demanded immediate resolution. Faint yet powerful in its essence, the signal resembled something no one had ever detected before from the depths of this harsh continent. Not only its strength, but also its stability was so unusual that researchers around the world began to sound the alarm in an effort to understand the nature of this phenomenon. Could it be that beneath the centuries-old layers of ice there is truly something more than just frozen memories of the past? This was a question that scientists and researchers simply could not ignore. Shortly after the signal was discovered, a decision was made to assemble a team of the most experienced researchers and send them to one of the most inhospitable regions on the planet. The research project began by bringing together the brightest minds and the most advanced technologies of our time. These events immediately attracted the attention of the global public. After all, the prospect of uncovering the secrets of Antarctica and possibly discovering an unknown civilization or even traces of extraterrestrial visitors was simply too intriguing to go unnoticed. Preparations began swiftly, and soon the team was ready to face the unknown. Onward to the icy desert, where a mysterious structure hidden beneath thick layers of ice awaited its explorers. The secret beneath the ice. The first discoveries. Upon arrival, the research team began setting up their equipment. The first scans beneath the ice revealed something incredible. At a depth of more than 300 feet, they managed to detect clear outlines of a structure whose size and shape completely contradicted all known data about this part of Antarctica. The object had a regular geometric shape with sharp edges, which clearly indicated its artificial origin. The size of the discovery was truly impressive. It stretched for several hundred feet in length and width. Upon closer examination, it turned out that the material from which the structure was made did not resemble anything known up to that point. It was incredibly strong and resistant to extreme temperatures, which allowed it to remain intact under such a thick layer of ice. This discovery called into question all existing theories about the climate and geology of Antarctica. The team decided to deepen their investigation and took samples of the ice surrounding the object. Analyses revealed an anomalous presence of rare elements and minerals that had never before been found in this part of the continent. Did this resemble the construction of an ancient civilization that no one had ever heard of? Or perhaps it was evidence that something even more ancient and mysterious was hidden beneath the ice. But there was one aspect that especially concerned the researchers: the anomalous heat emanating from deep within the structure. This heat extended over a considerable distance and caused the ice around the object to melt, adding even more mystery to this already intriguing discovery. Soon, the team began to delve deeper into studying this phenomenon, hoping to understand its nature and implications. Questions multiplied, and the pressure to uncover all the secrets grew with each new discovery. What awaited them ahead in this icy desert full of mysteries? Innovative technologies. A look inside. It was time to take a look inside the mysterious structure hidden beneath the thick Antarctic ice. Using the most advanced technologies, the researchers began scanning the shape and structure of the object. To do this, they used state-of-the-art laser and radio wave sensors, which made it possible to create a three-dimensional model of what was hidden beneath the ice. The results were astounding. The internal structure of the building was extraordinarily complex. Corridors, rooms, and even something resembling technological compartments impressed with their meticulous design. One of the most astonishing discoveries was the presence of numerous cavities whose purpose remained unclear. The interior of the object was filled with structural elements reminiscent of modern energy installations. This indicated a level of technological development far beyond anything known to humanity. In one of the sections, a mysterious mechanism was discovered, which apparently served as the source of the anomalous heat. This mechanism was covered with symbols of unknown origin, which further fueled the scientists' curiosity. The research team, using robotic probes, was able to collect samples for further analysis. These samples revealed a chemical composition never before encountered in nature. Questions arose: how could such a structure have been created under such extreme conditions, and what was its purpose? All this data opened up new horizons for research and demanded immediate investigation. Each new discovery gave rise to a whole series of questions. But the mystery had to be solved step by step, delving ever deeper into its layers. How far the scientists will go in their research and what they will find remains to be seen. Anomalous heat. What could this mean? The anomalous heat emanating from the depths of the mysterious structure became one of the main puzzles for the scientists. This phenomenon contradicted the basic laws of physics since the Antarctic ice is known for its ability to absorb and insulate heat. However, the temperature around the object was clearly higher than expected, and soon the researchers realized that this heat not only maintained the stability of the structure, but also affected the surrounding environment. They quickly discovered that this heat was causing the ice to melt at a considerable distance from the object, creating subglacial lakes and a flow of water that seemed to move as if it were following pre-existing channels. As they continued their research, it became clear that the heat source was not only stable, but also had the ability to self-regulate. This pointed to highly advanced technology, possibly left behind countless centuries ago. Even more astonishing was the reaction of the local geophysics. The ice masses seemed to change their structure under the influence of the heat, creating unusual shapes and patterns. The complex vectors of heat flow raised many questions about the purpose of this device. In addition to its physical impact on the environment, a theory emerged that the heat might be part of a more complex system of energy or even communication. Perhaps it was a signal, activating a mechanism that should be examined in greater detail. The researchers awaited with anticipation the moment when they could reach the very source and understand what lay behind this mysterious energy. But new discoveries awaited them ahead, which could shed light not only on the structure itself, but also on its creators. Unknown architecture, aliens or ancestors? When the research team reached the inner part of the mysterious structure, they encountered architecture unlike anything known on Earth. The walls of the structures were covered with geometric patterns and symbols that did not belong to any known earthly culture. The outlines of the halls and corridors were not only precise but also complex, with transitions and connections that resembled three-dimensional labyrinths more than human architecture. This style of construction raised many questions. Who were the creators, and what motivated them to build such a unique structure in the extreme conditions of Antarctica? One of the most astonishing discoveries was the finding of a huge hall, in the center of which stood a massive structure resembling an altar or a command center. This object was covered with symbols that were possibly the language of the creators of the structure. Images resembling star maps were also inscribed on the surface of the structure, which could indicate the extraterrestrial origin of its builders. These findings forced scientists to reconsider many traditional theories about the origins of ancient civilizations. Inside this hall, technological devices were discovered, the purpose of which remained a mystery. Researchers noticed that many elements were made from materials unknown to modern science, and their structure was so complex that extracting and studying these devices required special caution. These technological artifacts indicated a profound understanding of physics and engineering, surpassing the limits of human capabilities. All this raised a new question. Could these builders have been our ancient ancestors, who achieved incredible technological heights and later disappeared? Or did these artifacts testify to the presence of visitors from afar who left their mark on Earth's history before departing? Scientists' reactions varied, but one thing was clear. They faced a task of incredible importance to uncover more secrets of this ancient structure and to understand its true nature. And in the future, researchers might encounter even more complex mysteries that could forever change our understanding of the past. Deciphering the symbols, the language of the mysterious builders. Inside the mysterious hall, the researchers noticed numerous symbols covering the walls. These symbols had no counterparts in known earthly languages and were striking in their complexity and elegance. Their outlines resembled spirals, zigzags, and other geometric shapes interwoven in incredible combinations. It immediately became clear that these symbols played a key role in understanding the nature of the structure and its creators. To decipher the symbols, experienced linguists and cryptographers were brought in who began to systematically analyze the discovered signs. The first step was to create a database of all the symbols and their variations. Then, the scientists used statistical analysis methods to identify the frequency and distribution of these signs. This made it possible to highlight certain patterns that could indicate the syntax and grammar of the mysterious language. However, the deciphering process was slow, as a significant portion of the symbols remained unclear, and it was difficult to determine which of them were words and which were numbers or constructs. In parallel, the scientists paid special attention to studying the placement of the symbols on the surfaces of the objects. Their positioning seemed to correspond to architectural elements and possibly indicated their functional purpose. Each symbol, as part of a larger system, paved the way to understanding the technological infrastructure of the structure. This suggested that the structure might have served not only as a dwelling, but also as a place for rituals or scientific research. The research team also noted that some of the symbols were nanoprinted, indicating the creator's advanced technology. These markings were almost invisible to the naked eye and only became apparent under certain lighting angles. This discovery became the key to understanding that what they were dealing with was not just an ancient civilization, but something far more complex and multi-layered. As the scientists continued their work, they realized that deciphering these symbols could shed light on many aspects, including the history of the structure's appearance and its possible functions. Although the task seemed incredibly difficult, this process promised to unlock secrets that could change our perspective on history and the origins of life on Earth. And even at the moment when they felt close to understanding, new mysteries awaited them, ones that could completely overturn their ideas about the possible builders of this enigmatic structure. Ancient legends and facts, a comparison. In search of answers, the researchers turned to ancient legends and the folklore of peoples who inhabited the Earth in ancient times. Some of these myths spoke of mysterious builders who came from the sky or from the depths of the Earth to create astonishing structures and pass on knowledge. These legends, which for centuries were considered mere fiction, suddenly gained new relevance when they began to echo details discovered in Antarctica. One legend of the South American Indians, for example, spoke of a great icy land where there stood a certain temple mountain hidden from human eyes. Researchers also turned their attention to ancient written sources, such as scrolls and manuscripts, in which mysterious civilizations were mentioned. Some of these texts contained descriptions of technologies and symbols reminiscent of those found on the walls of the Antarctic structure. These coincidences could not be ignored and pointed to a possible interaction between ancient peoples and a mysterious culture whose remnants are hidden beneath the ice. As scientists compared data from various sources, they noticed that the descriptions of certain technologies mentioned in myths matched the device found inside the structure. For example, one ancient Chinese text spoke of a machine capable of increasing the Earth's heat, which resembled the device found that regulated the abnormal warmth beneath the thick layer of Antarctic ice. Medieval chronicles found in different parts of the world also mentioned certain star maps, which corresponded to the theoretical knowledge embedded in the architecture of the mysterious structure. This connection between myths and facts led researchers to suggest that ancient legends might actually be records of real historical events disguised as mythological imagery. Such coincidences inspired scientists to conduct a more detailed study of archives and legends, which could potentially shed new light on the hidden connections between cultures and the mysterious structure concealed in Antarctica. Each new fact emerging from the depths of myths and legends revealed more and more secrets, bringing them ever closer to unraveling the mystery of this astonishing place. The team of researchers still had many questions ahead of them, but the further they followed the traces of ancient legends, the clearer it became that their journey was only just beginning. Secrets of Antarctica, the outcome of the expedition and unresolved questions. The expedition was coming to an end, leaving behind thrilling discoveries and a number of unanswered questions. Antarctica, with its harsh beauty and mysterious depths, allowed the researchers to uncover a secret lost to time, a structure whose origins could only be guessed at. The discovered structure challenged all known traditions and approaches to the study of history. Despite their incredible efforts, many aspects remained mysteries. For example, the material of the structure defied all known scientific classifications. Its properties and origin called into question the chosen methods of study, suggesting the presence of technologies that surpassed those of today. Traces of anomalous heat spreading beneath the ice also remained only partially explained. Scientists discovered that this heat not only allowed the structure to be preserved, but could also serve as a source of energy used by its creators. However, their level of understanding of physics and engineering continued to remain beyond human capabilities. In addition, the presence of complex symbols and markings continues to intrigue. Curious minds of researchers, linguists, and cryptographers are working on deciphering them, believing that these symbols may hold the key to the technologies and lives of the builders. But while the decoding is underway, many of the signs remain a mystery, concealing the secrets of the ancient world. Ancient legends and myths, combined with facts discovered in the course of exploration, suggest a connection with ancient civilizations, but do not provide a complete picture. Researchers intend to continue their work, striving to unravel every detail, while uncharted lands have prepared even more surprises for determined scientists. Despite the completion of the expedition, questions about the builders, their purpose, and the mysteries hidden by this icy continent are still waiting to be answered. Antarctica, which has already changed researchers' understanding of the past, calls for new discoveries, promising even deeper secrets hidden in its ancient depths.